I've amassed a pile of parts trying to be organized here, but what I'm doing today is replacing the grill on, oh, actually the whole front end on my 2003 F250. So here's what the front end looks like now. Got the black Harley Davidson style headlights, factory style painted, 2003 era bumper. They are the 05 to 07 headlights, and it's got the 05 style grille that's been cut to fit the bumper on the earlier 99 to 2004 trucks. And I thought I would like this look. This is the look I went with originally, but I missed the chrome and look of the larger Super Duty trucks. So what I'm going to be doing is converting the whole front end to the 05 to 07 style. And I'll go through that step by step with you guys right now. So real quick, we'll talk about the things you guys need if you're doing this like I am. Honestly, the easiest way to do this, and what I was looking to do, was just to buy a used 05, 07 bumper, grill, headlights, everything off of a truck. But I have scoured every junkyard around here, and there's nothing that's nice. So I'm going to do it the hard way and buy all the parts new. So the main things you need, which I don't have right here in this pile, is the grill. You need the grill support, the core headlight header panel, I think it's called, which is what the headlights and the grill and everything bolts to. It's plastic. Honestly, I found the cheapest route was just to buy it from my local Ford dealer, and it was actually cheaper for the Ford part than having the eBay one shipped to my house. Also, the only other Ford piece I used was the actual bumper itself. I just picked this up today. See if I can get a part number for you here. It is, here's the part number. And I actually got a great deal on this. Got it for $220 from the dealer. And the reason I went with a Ford bumper is because not only is the chrome much better, but it's a lot thicker steel than the ones you buy on eBay. And I've had bad luck with the chrome cheap Chinese bumpers rusting after like a year. So I went with the original Ford part for the metal, and the rest of the plastic pieces are aftermarket. This is the upper bumper panel that you need. It came unpainted, and I painted and cleared it myself yesterday. So you also need the little valance panel that goes under the bumper, which is this right here. That was like $30. Then, like I said, this is so much easier if you can just find a grill off a used truck. But you need the main brackets, bumper brackets, left and right. And these are aftermarket parts here. Here's the support brackets that go from up here to here on both sides. I've got them for both sides. And then some people say this is optional, but I'm trying to do this just like Ford would have done it. These are the side parts, or the side brackets that connect to the frame. They're like a reinforcement. And here's the part number for the left one. And here's a part number for the right one. And then honestly, the biggest pain to the whole project is the hardware. All the nuts and bolts to bolt everything together. And I found if you really want to spend a lot of money, you can go to LMC Truck, and they sell all these brackets and all the hardware and everything you would need besides the actual bumper and stuff. It's like $299 though, which is a lot of money. These brackets aren't cheap though. But what I did is I went to LMC Truck and went through and bought every little nut and bolt that's required. So you just go on their website, go on their online parts, and do that. You could try to just make it work. If you're replacing a bumper, a lot of this stuff is supposedly reusable from the 03, the 99 to 04 style bumper on here. But I wanted to keep that one intact. so I had to buy all new. And if you had a good nut and bolt collection in your garage, you could probably make this work also. But like I said, I'm trying to make everything just like factory for the most part. So next steps to get the old stuff off the truck. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the factory front bumper. To do that, you need a 14-inch socket and an 18-inch socket. It's not too hard. First thing you do, well, first thing I'm going to do is take out, there's a bolt in here that holds this bracket. That's the 14. So you take that out, and you do that on both sides. And then up here, you remove these two. I believe they're an 18 millimeter. And once you remove those on both sides, the bumper will just come right off the front. Doing this by yourself, make sure you don't take all four out at once, otherwise it'll fall off on you. Like that. Be careful because you got wiring harnesses under here that are holding your fog lights, fog light wiring harness, and in my case, if you have a diesel, you'll have your plug, electric plug. Alright, so we got the front bumper removed. There's a few things to note. If you're doing this on a stock 99 to 04 truck, okay, now we've got the bumper off. The next step will be to take the grill off. And this is the same. You take 1, 2, 3, 4 screws out of the top of the grill, and then there'll be clips that hold it in along the bottom, and that just pops right off. So, obviously, if you're doing it on a stock 99 to 04, the next step after that will be, there's the panel that runs behind there that will have to come off, and I'll show you what that will look like once we get that done. This truck actually already has an 05 to 07 header panel on it because I found that it makes it a lot easier to mount this grill. You'll see, you can tell because it sticks down lower than it should, but that's good because now I won't have to replace it when I put on the regular 05 to 07 grill. It also made it easier for me to put the 05 to 07 style headlights in, even though I'll be replacing these with the standard chrome ones and getting rid of the black look. So, next step, I'll take out the headlights. To do that, there's 2 screws up here at the top, and then on the bottom, there's 1, 2 screws right here on each side. And then the headlights pull out and you unplug them. Now it's a little different on the 99, the stock 99 to 04. What I found the easiest to do is there's a couple screws down here, and you'll take out just the turn signal assembly, which is separate from the headlight, and that'll pull out. And then you can actually just take the header panel off and there's bolts in the middle. I'll show you how that works. And the headlights actually stay attached. I mean, I suppose if your truck wasn't real rusty, you could pop the tabs and pull the headlights out. But I found that's pretty hard to do. It's easiest just to leave it attached to the header panel and then pull all the bolts off and take it all off as one assembly. So I'll be right back. After I get the grill off, I'll show you what's underneath. Okay, so here it is with everything removed. This is the 05 to 07 header panel. And how you get the old one off and put the new one on is you have, let's see if I can get this focused here, a bolt down here, one right here, so two over here, and then there is actually, you can't see it, but it's through this hole. There's one back here. Let's see. There's actually two right here. There's one down here. So two over here, two over here. Then we've got two right here. If you look through, there's one straight through this hole, and then one under here that has to come out. And then you've got two over here. So it'll be right down in here and right here. And to get this off on your stock truck, you need to remove this rubber piece, and it's just held in with the plastic push pins all across. That way you can get in behind here and have access to everything, because it can be a little bit of a pain. And then the new one goes on the same way that the old one came off. It uses the same mounting points. Get it on there, get everything centered. And it's a good idea not to really tighten everything down until you get your headlights on. That way you can check your gaps, because there is adjustment in the brackets that you'll be able to see behind here. But I'm not going to mess with this because, like I said, I already have the 05 to 07 header panel on here. So I'm going to leave it be. Also, when you're switching headlights to the newer style, you need an adapter. It goes from a 9007 to a H13, I believe it is. And I got these for like $9 online. It's way easier to me than cutting the factory wiring, and it plugs right in. And then, just in case you ever wanted to go back to the old way, you could. Also, even if your new headlights come with a bulb socket, you'll need to reuse the right angle socket from your 99 to 04 truck. I found that the one for the 05, 07, the wiring doesn't connect properly, doesn't reach properly, so do that. And then same thing, you just reuse. You can either reuse or use the new ones. The connectors are the same for your marker lights. Okay, so once you get the header panel put on, now we're ready to start the conversion and start getting things put back together. And next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just put the headlights in and get that on there, and then I'll get the bumper put on, and then last but not least I'll get the grill put in place. So headlights, same thing, reverse removal. The new ones, they'll fit right in here with your new header panel. If you didn't buy these screws, you can reuse them, but the problem is you need 4 more. These headlights actually use 4 more than the old ones did, so you'll end up using these to bolt the headlights down, and then you'll have nothing to put these in. So either pick up 4 of the factory style ones, or you can do what I did. I just went through my screw collection and got a screw and a washer that fit, and made something that works just fine. Okay, so now we essentially have the new headlights in position. So now I'm ready to start the assembly on all these bumper components. And to try to make it a little bit easier on myself, this is a catalog page from LMC Truck that I use to order all the hardware, and I'm going to kind of use this as a guide so I know which nuts and bolts go where while I assemble this thing. So let me get started on that now. So the first thing I'm going to do is install the lower air dam, this plastic piece right here. And to do that, it uses these plastic clips. And how you do it is, obviously there's holes. There are holes all along this, and you just line them up, push them in and then snap them down tight. And it's a little tricky because this thing needs to be pulled and flexed into position, but it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. It's just pushing these things in, and then they're the expandable. You know, when you push them in, they expand and kind of like rivet it into place. So I'm gonna get that put on real quick, and then we'll get back to the next step. Okay, once you get the bottom on, it's time to get the top in place. And I just have it sitting here right now so I can show you what goes on here. On the front, there are these little tabs that stick down into the white piece. And once again, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just align those little tabs all the way across. Then on the back, you have some bolt holes, and this piece came with these washers, or the nuts already on there. So you just put your screws through here, and then you have more on that side, the exact same thing to hold it all in place. So pretty self-explanatory, just basically bolting it together. Once I get this done, I'll show you how we go on to the next step, which will probably be the fog light. So I started to put the top piece on, the upper bumper, and I realized there's a problem. You can't put that on until you put the brackets and the fog lights on, because there's little U-nuts that you have to slide back here. And I'll show you what those look like. Kind of like, you know, these things slide behind there. And if you put this on, you won't be able to get them in there. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting on the bumper bracket. This is self-explanatory. So on this side, once I get those nuts in there, take the bracket, set it into place, and we'll bolt it down. And then the brackets will be installed. Then we'll look at this here, because I believe this goes across here like this. So I'll have to get that put in. And then we'll get the top short up. All right, I've got the brackets on, and here's how I'll show you how these side brackets go. They bolt from here up to here. Then it's the same thing on the other side. And then for the fog lights, I actually didn't order the correct hardware for the fog lights. So what I'm going to be doing is just using one. There's supposed to be two of these, but I'll use one on this side and one on that side, and then I'll put one down here and one over here and secure those. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, got the fog lights in now, and I had to do a little bit of rigging on them because, like I said, I didn't have the hardware. When I tried to put the bolts up in the top, they wouldn't fit because of the way the fog lights are designed. So I just put a self-tapping sheet metal screw in the top, and then in the bottom I've got this bolt, and they're obviously completely solid with that. They're not going anywhere. I finished tightening down all my bracket bolts, so everything is tight. And the fog lights actually have a little pin, an alignment pin, that goes in the hole, a hole behind it that kind of holds everything together. I did have some problems getting this top, the top upper part of the bumper. See, it's got these little pins that have to be engaged that come through all the way down. And I was having a real hard time trying to push it down. So what I had to do is put a board through here to brace this between a couple sawhorses. And then I covered this with some bubble wrap and a board and whacked it with a sledgehammer to get these tabs to engage. Being very careful not to hurt my brand new paint that's on here. So that was kind of a pain, and I think honestly the reason why is because I did not use the Ford part. I went with the cheap eBay piece. You know, like I said, I didn't skimp on the bumper itself. It's an actual Ford chrome bumper, but I think that's what caused my fitment problems. I also had a little bit of an issue on the side here where this comes to here. And what I'm probably gonna have to do is, because this is not correct at all, this does not fit here right. So once I get on the truck, I'm going to pull this and probably put a sheet metal screw through here into the bumper, and then paint it white so you can't tell. And that, honestly, that really bothers me that I have to do that, but I'm this far, it's not worth trying to send this back after it's been painted. I mean, I'm kind of stuck with it, so I'm gonna make it work, and on both sides, and do that. But besides that, we are ready to install this on the front of the truck, so we'll get started on that right now. Take the fog lights that were in there out, since I already have bulbs. There you go. And it's just a matter of getting your harness where it needs to be back here, tighten everything up. Probably have to, what I'll do is I'll get some zip ties and zip tie some stuff in place back here. Alright, before I get the bumper put on, I'm going to put the grill on so I can check all my alignment and spacing. So here's my chrome grill. It's got the aftermarket billet chrome inserts on it. So this is it. All you have to do is push your tabs in the bottom. Then we'll secure the top 4 screws we took out. Go easy on these screws. Starting to be able to see what it's going to look like. It's looking good. Alright, now what I'm doing now is trying to get brackets aligned. So, show you what I'm getting started here. So in here, you have to get these slid onto the bumper. That way your frame bracket will mount. It'll go in here like this and get bolted down, and then we'll bolt to the frame right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side. It's over here. Slide these on. bolts go in here. I'll just start these. Definitely not going to tighten anything down. Just get those started. I'll move over to the other side. Okay, so once you get all this started, now's where you're going to need a helper. So what I'm going to do is set the camera down for a minute, and then to align the bumper, you basically, all you do is have someone hold it where you want it, and then run these bolts back in the front, tighten it up, and then hook your side brackets in, and we'll be finished. I'll show you the end result when we're done. So here's the finished product. The thing I got to worry about now is squaring up those sides. Like I said, the top of the upper. But I think it turned out really good. So here's the finished product. Actually turned out pretty good. But there's a couple of things that aren't right that I wanted to point out. And I'm not sure exactly why, if it's because this is... maybe the frame's a little different, but one thing I had to do to get the bumper high enough is where the front mounts into the frame, I had to elongate the holes a little bit. So on both sides, I had to elongate the frame this way, up just about ½ inch, quarter to ½ inch on both sides. That way the whole bumper could come up a little bit. So it could fix the gap along the bottom. But the problem that I have now is, or that I have period, as you can see, this line is supposed to match up with this back here. So the whole bumper itself isn't far back enough this way. And there's no way to move it back further. I'm not sure if the frame is just a little bit longer on a 2004. 2003-99 to 2004, or if there's something with the brackets. I don't know. See, it's the same on both sides. It's the exact same amount, and there's no adjustment to move the bumper back towards the truck. So I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it for now until I can figure something else out. Honestly, the made in Taiwan upper part of the bumper cover, that thing gave me a lot of problems too. So I'd honestly really recommend you just get all the parts from a junkyard if you can. Would be the best route, but like I said, I couldn't find what I needed in a junkyard. So it is what it is. At least I got a brand new bumper. And it looks really good, as long as you don't notice all the little things that I just pointed out. But I'm going to do a little research, see if I can figure that out. Anyway, I hope this video helps you. Y'all, shows you the steps to put everything together and on the truck. Until next time.